I'm the youngest manager there. Yeah.
Yeah. So how is it working? I'm sure it'll be I wouldn't say difficult, but it'll be an awkward situation or any kind of experience that you want to share about.
I know my mother will be watching this podcast, and I always tell her on Mother's Day and on her birthday. Why only on like Mother's Day and her birthday? I always tell her that you are the reason behind everything.
What about legal tech and say like AI? How is it helping you and your work?
AI is the talk of the town.
Yes.
UAE is very impressive when it comes to.
You would say UAE is much advanced than say the Western countries or
big time.
Other countries.
Big time. You know, the most impressive thing is that attracting all the international fintech companies worldwide, and at the same time supporting the local startups.
See, you're a young woman. You're 27. How safe do you think Dubai is?
I was walking. It was 11 night, and I was calling my mother, and then she told me, "Laura, go back home. It's 11." I said, "Mom, I'm not in Lebanon." It's very safe. This sense of safety, you cannot get it anywhere else. Yeah.
Welcome to Beyond the Briefcase podcast. This is where we talk about beyond business and beyond. I'm your host, Clintspatrick. Here we delve into the intersection of business strategies, legal framework, and finance. Whether you're an entrepreneur, legal professional, or a business leader, this is your go-to source for podcasts. Today we are joined by Laura Massroua. She is a corporate lawyer from Zaleh, Bekaa Valley, Lebanon. She graduated her LLB from one of the top universities in Lebanon, Lebanese University, and she completed her executive education, international finance for policies, regulations, and transactions from Harvard Law School. She works as the head of legal for a multinational holding company in Dubai, and she is one of the youngest head of legal and compliance in UAE. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you. I want to start off by understanding, let's go back a bit, and where you first get inspired or get calling towards law?
That's a good question. Actually, I think that law was always meant for me since I was very young. Maybe since I was a kid.
Wow.
Yeah, there's so many moments that happened with me when I was a kid. I can tell you like the most vivid moment I still remember. We were in class. We had this very tough, always angry teacher that that we're all afraid of.
Yeah.
And she was unfairly punishing one of the classmates, and everyone was so afraid. Not only this, this student.
Like that,
yes,
right?
and then I was so afraid also, but I felt that I had to stand up and talk and defend him. Yes, I this is what I did. And I remember the teacher looked at me and told me in Arabic. Let me say it in Arabic,
Yes.
and then I'll translate it. She told me, "Laura, مين حطك محامي دفاع عنه؟ عادي." It means, Laura, who hired you to be his lawyer and defend him? And then I didn't stop. I was defending him. Even I didn't understand what she said back then. I went back home and I asked my mother, like, what does محامي دفاع means? Like, what does lawyer means? And then she told me about who is the lawyer and what he does for the society. And then I told her, one day I'll become a lawyer because I think this is what I like to do. And then she looked at me and said, "You're already one," without even attending law school or anything. And now if also I go back to when I was a kid, I remember I grew up with my brother. I have two brothers, actually. Okay. I'm the eldest.
No, the eldest.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. I have my brother Joseph and Jean-Paul. Joseph is still in school and Jean-Paul is a psychologist. Okay. Yeah, he works with the UN.
So you're a lawyer and a psychologist?
And so, yeah. And Joseph, I think he's going to be a businessman. Yeah.
You covered everything is there in the family.
Yes, alhamdulillah. I'm very blessed. I was growing up with my brother Jean-Paul. We had the same childhood because his 2 years.
If you don't mind me asking, what is the age difference between you and your second brother?
2 years.
2 years. So
Yeah.
they're relatively...
Yes. So I remember when we used to do like stupid things when we... So my father was with the punishment, like he used to punish us, like, okay, you do this, you're going to be punished. So I remember when Jean-Paul used to do things and I used to stand up and defend him and convince my parents why they should not punish him. And My mother used to tell me that most of the time they used to be convinced, like, okay, as Laura said, we should, so yes.
So you, from a childhood, you are raised to find justice in things.
Yes. I cannot see something that
Maybe
is
because
unfair.
your backing of your protection for your brother, from your house, even from your school, so you're nurtured into protecting society or people who are unjustly.
It's a personality, character. It's a character,
and that helped you with that's maybe one of the reasons why you're the youngest or one of the youngest head of legal in UAE. I want to know about, obviously, when did you come to Dubai? How did you? What's your journey till now? I mean, it's a relatively young and smaller journey.
Yes.
But tell me more about it.
Yes. Patrick, this is a very important topic that I would love to share with you. Although, it's a bit personal, but Lebanon was never stable since I was born. But when I finished university and I started my LLM, everything was going really bad. Economy, the political situation in Lebanon. And
which year would this be?
2020. Yeah, 2020, 2021. So I said, Laura, you cannot stay here because I'm at the age where I want to grow. I want to prove myself. I want to make the best out of because our 20s are like the best ages where you can really show and work on yourself. Because exactly. And there was some things that expedited the process. My father was very sick back then, and now he died. But yes, back then I felt that there's a responsibility somehow. Yes, exactly. And my brother was still in university, and the other one is still in school. My mother doesn't work, so I felt that I have to. It's time for me to grow up. Yeah. I used to ask myself, like, I'm very young for that, no? But one day I was in the hospital with my father. He used to do dialysis. So I told him, he told me, like, take care of the family, as if he knew that he would leave us. And then I told him, why you're saying this? You're going to get better. He told me, no, I will not. Yes, he knew. He felt it. So I felt the sense of responsibility from that moment. And then
And at a young age.
Yeah, I just said, I remember when I was praying, I said, God, Jesus, I told him, help me, give me the strength, because I really want to build a good future for my family and for myself. And this is what happened. I left Lebanon. I didn't know what to do, where I'm going, what I'm going to, how it's going to happen. I had no answer for anything. Yes, it was my first option. Everyone was talking about Dubai.
Had family, friends,
no, I didn't have. I have a cousin, but actually I lived with my friend, Mirta. She was very supportive. Patrick, I really didn't know how it's going to happen, but I knew that it will happen. I knew that I will make it. And when I used to ask my mother, because, it was not easy.
Yes.
It was really tough, especially because I didn't have UAE experience.
Yeah.
And every interview, I felt that every interview ended with a very gentle rejection.
Okay.
But I didn't lose hope. Why? Because my mother was always like, Laura, you will make it. When I used to ask her, how? But how? I cannot see the light. I cannot see a door. She used to tell me, it's not your business how. Just believe and God will figure it out.
Your mother's big influence on me.
I'll tell you about my mother's influence later on. But really, when I first arrived, Patrick, I had $700 in my pocket, but I had big faith in God. I arrived, I stayed with Mirta. She had a small house, very cozy, full of love. She was, and she's still a manager of a very good and reputable restaurant and fine restaurant. She figured out that I don't have enough money. So she secured a part-time job in the restaurant. Yeah. And to help me. So I used to search for a job, do interviews during the day. And like afternoon, I used to go to the restaurant. Yeah. So this is how it started. They used to pay us per month, per week, every 6 days. Yes. My first salary was 500 dirhams. Yeah. 500 dirhams.
You don't want to disclose the current salary.
Yeah. The current I prefer not to disclose.
You have just talked about 4 years time.
Yes,
And,
4 years time.
If I'm not mistaken, you're a fresh graduate when you had no experience.
Look, Patrick, I started to work since I started university because I had this passion for law that I didn't want to wait.
Okay.
I used to study a lot and I used to work a lot. At the same time, I didn't have, I used to see my friends going partying. I didn't have this luxury back then, but I was happy. It was a choice. By the way, Patrick, it was very tough that I almost lost hope when I arrived to Dubai. It was that tough and I had no money anymore. Like it was done. What happened here is that I received a call and it felt like a miracle from a very reputable law firm for a position. And this is how it started.
So in 2020, you landed here, you were working as a part-time. And you were staying with a friend.
Part-time in a restaurant, not even...
With $700. And then you got many rejections because you didn't have a UAE experience.
Yeah.
And finally a break comes and you...
By the way, Patrick, I received many job offers, but in sales, business development. But it wasn't what I wanted.
You had a focus.
I wanted something in law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what always drives you.
Yeah.
I want to know, since you are head of legal for a multinational company, I'm sure you're one of the youngest staff there. How is it?
I'm the youngest manager there. Yeah.
Yeah. So how is it working? I'm sure it'll be I wouldn't say difficult, but it'll be an awkward situation or any kind of experience that you want to share about working with being so young and working with older people and your experiences on how they would take somebody's I wouldn't say orders, but like, your suggestions or your instructions.
Yes. By the way, my team, they're all older than me. So, yeah. My team that report to me, they are older than me. But even when I tell them my age, or for example, when they figure out, when they see my ID, they're like, no. There must be a mistake. So I don't think age is really what matters. It doesn't really matter. Age is a number. It's what you go through during the age and how you've been shaped. Because it's all about maturity. It's all about the experiences you've been through. It's all about how you communicate with people, how you listen to people, how you advise people. Many of the managers didn't know my age. And when they knew my age, they were shocked. I'm very professional when it comes to my job, to me being with people, with everything. And I think that this maturity, let's say, the maturity I have in my personal life and professional life came from the way I was raised.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell me more about which part or which attribute would you, and from your childhood, that you would attribute to you being so professional. Like, how do you draw that? Which part of your childhood?
It's very important what you said, childhood. Because I do believe that the formative years of every individual are the most important years that will shape you and will define who you are. Look, I know my mother will be watching this podcast, and I always tell her on Mother's Day and on her birthday. Yeah, why only on like Mother's Day and her birthday? I always tell her that you are the reason behind everything. Where I am now, you are the reason. And then she says, "No, Laura, it's you." And Patrick, when I was a kid, my mother had this powerful way to make me feel that and to give me this confidence that I can do anything. I have the potential to achieve anything I want. And not only for me.
That is very, very, very important. Because I think a lot of mothers would love to hear this and their children.
Not only mothers, also fathers. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, Patrick, as my brother Jean-Paul always tells me, the psychologist, our parents' voice in the formative years will become our inner voice and will be part of our subconscious, and it will be part of who we are.
Yes.
So really, parents have a very big responsibility.
Especially when you say you can do anything, and when the kid grows up to being an adult, and they're facing difficulties, if you are telling them that you can achieve anything, they will be able to handle those difficulties in a much better light, rather than if you are hearing that you can't do it, and when you're facing difficulty, you feel like you can't do it.
Patrick, and I see it a lot. I see people with very big potential, and they don't have self-esteem. They don't have confidence. And when I ask them, you see that the way they talk to themselves is like they're very tough with themselves. My mother and my father also. This is a very funny story. I always remember it with my brother. So my mother was the type of person that, let's say, for example, if I get good grade, not a great grade, but a good grade, she would get us gifts and do a big deal out of it. Like, wow. So
she'll celebrate
everything. Like, for example, if I finish my water, bravo, Laura, finish the water. Yes, this is my mother. And I remember when I was maybe 11 years old, there was this play in school, at the end of the year.
Yes.
And people used to sing. We had to sing. Okay. So it was a play, like a musical play.
Right.
Yeah. And then my voice wasn't that good back then, I think. Now I think it's better. So, and you know what was my role? I was a tree, literally a tree, doing nothing, holding leaves. And I remember at the end of it, like the way her and my father were, bravo, Laura. Like they were the only parents saying bravo out loud between the crowd. And I literally did nothing. I was just holding the leaves, and from time to time I used to do like that because it was like, I was like tired for doing so. And I remember after this, and my mother and my father also. And I remember after that, we went to have a dinner because I did the best play and best actress and best tree. Exactly. And now when we remember, I used to ask my mother, like maybe a year ago, I told her, why you used to, you used to lie to us? She said, no, we were so happy to see you there. For us, it's enough. Like your presence in our life was enough. So yes, I was born in such a environment. So yeah.
So I want to, you're the head of legal and the corporate structure. I want to understand, you are always advising on the risk. What is the worst case scenario? So in the corporate structure, there's always sales, marketing, management. They all want to say a deal is going on. They always want to get the deal done. And the lawyers and legal team is always like, no, think here, that's a red flag, this is a red flag. How do you see that from your perspective? Because you don't want to harm the deal also, right? That's how you bring value to the company. So I just want to understand how do you manage that situation?
Yeah. By the way, it's not only managing the legal risks and the business it's also managing the people.
Yes.
Because they don't want to hear no.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear we cannot do it because. They want to hear, yes, let's do it, let's sign. Patrick, as an in-house, as a corporate lawyer in a holding company or any company, we need to be business-oriented. We need to know exactly the business and to focus on solutions always. Why? Law firms, they're very good. They're very good when it comes to supporting the in-house or for supporting individuals, litigation matters and everything. But when you're an in-house, you have a different language when it comes to the field you're in.
Yes.
For example, I work in fintech, telecommunication, e-commerce, logistics. So we have many companies in our holding. So I know the language. I know the business. I see how we do it. I understand the technical telecommunication words. So when you are business oriented, you will be solution focused. Why? Because at the end of the day, it's from the business I'm getting my salary and everyone is being paid. So if I always say no, Although it's very, it's the easier way for us. Why? Because it's like safe, like we're playing safe. When you play safe as a lawyer, you always say no.
Yes.
And you go with the flow. But I don't do that. For me, it's yes, I will find a way. And I'm not the type that says, no, we cannot do it. I say, no, we cannot do it. And then I say, we can have an alternative to have the same, let's say, end goal or result, but we can do it in a more compliant and legal way.
They've got in the interest.
And also, Patrick, you should, okay. If you're with a Chinese person, you cannot speak Arabic with them, right?
True.
So you have to speak other person's language. If I go to the finance person and I will tell him, listen, without the indemnification clause is not, he will look at me and say, no, Laura. But if I tell him the financial risk and how it will affect us financially, so we have to know how to communicate. I have to speak their language. So
very,
they can.
very hats.
Yes.
So,
we have to.
in broad stroke, you don't want to jeopardize the deal. You want to make it work, but you want to highlight the risk. But if the risk does come, it falls in your head.
I'm very protective.
You're
I'm very protective with my family, with my friends, in my company. So I'm a very protective person in nature. So I would not let anything happen to the entity I work in that might get us liabilities or a high risk. I'm very strict when it comes to these things.
Tell us.
But Patrick, when it comes to corporate and business, there's always risks.
Yes.
But we have to mitigate. We have to have a balance.
We analyze which is the bigger risk, which is the lower risk.
Yes, exactly.
And
Exactly.
make obviously a call based on how much risk you want to entail.
Yeah.
That's what about legal tech and say AI? How is it helping you and your work? Are you having any kind of how do you see it? Do you see as it as a positive
AI.
thing or as a negative thing?
AI is the talk of the town.
Yes.
And look, I work in a fintech. We have a company that is a fintech company in the holding company, and we work in technology, we work in telecom. So it's part of our daily bread. And UAE is, I would have the courage to say that it's number one in the fintech innovation worldwide when it comes to the regulations that they are implementing. I can give you some examples. For example, the latest regulation that was introduced by the central bank, which is the open finance regulation.
Okay.
It's a game changer. It's a game changer when it comes to data sharing and how you can give the consumer a very personalized financial service throughout this, because all the financial institutions will be required to share their data in a pool. It's going to be supervised by the central bank, and you also have the payment token services regulation. You also have the sandbox conditions regulation. You have VARA. You have the Virtual Asset Authority regulation. The framework of VARA, when I was reading it, really it places Dubai and UAE. How can I describe it? Like the top in crypto space. UAE is very impressive when it comes to.
You would say UAE is much advanced than the Western countries or
big time.
Other countries.
Big time.
I think that's thanks to the leadership over here, right?
100%.
Totally progressive, always innovative.
The most impressive thing is that it's attracting all the international fintech companies worldwide, and at the same time supporting the local startups. Yeah, it's a great place for innovation, for growth. Yeah, it's very fast paced, and yeah,
it's a place to be.
We're very lucky to be here, Patrick. What do you think about living in Dubai? It's been how many years?
I was born here, so Dubai I've seen before Sheikh Zayed Road was formed.
Wow.
But now this is the heart of Dubai. I think the old Dubai was there, that side. So I think I was born there. I studied my schooling here. I did my university here. I got my first job here.
Wow.
So Dubai is, I would say second home. Although India is my home. I would say Dubai is my home. Dubai Dubai is my home.
It makes you feel home, like you were born here.
Yes.
But even the people who came like after graduating or with their families to find a job, they also feel that it's
Dubai
home.
is one place where, see, I think initially there was a lot of expats with the local Emirati culture. But the amount of different countries over the last, say, 10, 15 years has exponentially rise. I think it's like a melting pot of all different nationalities. So you meet and interact with people from every corner of the world. I think this is the world now.
I think really Dubai, you said something very important, that really Dubai is the world in a city.
Yes.
And as we know that you grow from experiences and from traveling to different cultures, here in Dubai, you get to have it all in one place. So our personal growth, our professional growth is way faster than anywhere else in the world.
You know, when we were kids, there was this thing, the American dream. You know, you go to America, you make it for yourself.
Yeah.
It's not. I think it's now Dubai dream, because people come from wherever in the world.
Yeah.
They will come here. They have the infrastructure ready to start their own business or find a job, and they can go from 0 to 100 and make a life. They can bring their families here. So now I think the world is in the Middle East, and Dubai is the dream. Dubai is like not an American dream, but Dubai is dream now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Also, all the GCC, they're
and the stability, the safety. I mean, see, you're a young woman. You're 27. How safe do you think Dubai is over here?
I remember, Patrick, a week ago, I was walking. It was 11 night, and I was calling my mother, and then she told me, Laura, go back home. It's 11. I said, Mom, I'm not in Lebanon. It's very safe.
11?
It's even exactly. This sense of safety, you cannot get it anywhere else. Yeah.
I'm sure as a lawyer, you'll be working, I'm sure, like stressful hours, long hours into the night, early mornings. What is your opinion about, say, work-life balance? Do you believe in that? If yes, how do you manage that? How do you try to separate maybe work from your personal life, or do you not want to separate? Or what is your opinion or take on that?
Okay, you said, I'm sorry, but I'm detail oriented. You said work-life balance. I think there's something not really correct in work-life balance, because work and life are not separate. We work for long hours, so work is part of life, is a very integral and important part of life, and separating them is not really the correct thing to do, because I do believe that it's life, right? You have work, you have personal life, you have family, you have friends, you have your own time also, right? And I think every part of life is interconnected to the other. Everything affects the other, if you're conscious about it or not. Like lately, I've been really investing time in myself, meditating and doing some sports, and I feel how it's affecting my work and my performance at work, and even the way I perceive things. So everything is connected, Patrick, and you just have to be a bit wise to know how to manage yourself and time. That's it. Yeah.
That's interesting, because
do you have work-life balance? Although I don't agree with the word, but
I think the popular thing is we would like to. There should be a time where we do work, and there's a time when we have our personal life or a thing.
Which is part of life. Like it's life.
Some people say don't mix it. Popular opinions don't mix it. See, when I was working, I was an employee, I would say. I'm a person who wakes up early. I like to be up by 5 or 6 in the morning, get my morning time. Then I'm a person, if office starts by 9 a.m., there by 7:30, 8. So I get my alone time to do my work. By 6:30, I wrap up, and then I leave work from the door. But obviously now I've transitioned to being an entrepreneur. So work doesn't leave me. I think I'm somewhere in your plate where now work is life. So I don't. Sometimes I'm working 10 in the night. Sometimes I'm working early morning. So sometimes I'm relaxing between work. So I think I'm still trying to find my feet being an entrepreneur there.
How it feels to be an entrepreneur in Dubai?
First of all, I feel lucky that we are in Dubai because I was born here, so I know I have connections, I have people here. Also, this is something new for me. So that is the challenging part. So there are many parts where I have to learn to delegate my work rather than taking everything on my shoulder, which is, I'm still young and I'm still learning. So, well, everything is a journey. At some point, I will master it. I don't want to be perfect. I just want to get better every day. So that's my thought process.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Because if I'm aiming for perfection, then I think I will be disappointed most than not. If I can keep improving day by day, I think I will be. I think that's the best I can do, right?
Yeah.
And the best is what you can always do.
True.
When your mindset is positive.
Yeah.
And positive things come to you.
There's beauty in imperfection. And
you believe in, say, manifestations or your positive energy.
Look, Patrick, I believe in praying to God. But what I can tell you is that everything I used to pray for happened.
So in a way, it's manifestation, right?
There is something we say as Arabs. I'll say it in Arabic. Like God is saying, أنا عند ظن عبدي بي. It means whatever you think God will give you, He will give you. Like if you think like God is good, He will give me, He will give you, right?
Yeah.
I do believe that God is good. And look, Patrick, my mother always used to say that you have to ask to receive. It's in the Bible. اطلبوا تجدوا. It means ask and you shall receive. So we have to ask. We have to be very particular. And you want to call it manifestation. You want to call it belief. You want to call it faith. Call it whatever you want. Even affirmations. Since day one, Christians, they do affirmations. We say many times the same prayer. What does it mean? It's like repeating the affirmations. But you can say prayer, you can say affirmation. And then my brother Jean-Paul always tells that words have power. So when you say things, you might see them. Yeah. The subconscious mind doesn't know what's real and not real.
But it is true. How you program, like maybe now throughout the chat, you're saying how your mother gave you positive influence.
Yeah.
So your subconscious mind is taken all that in. So whenever you're facing difficulty, your subconscious mind is telling you that good things are going to happen.
Yes.
This too shall pass.
Yes. And we were raised in a way where my mother always used to say, God is good. God, or like the highest power in this world, is good. But you have to be good. You have to do good to receive the goodness of life. So, yeah.
Let's have a question. Say you have a free day. No calls, no emails.
Free day?
Yes. What would you do?
Are you talking to me? I have never had this opportunity. When I'll have this opportunity, we'll let you know. Yeah, Patrick, look, I don't know if my colleagues, like the lawyers, say the same, but we don't feel that we're employees. Our brain is always working somehow, and not receive a call, or it's a bit hard, or an email. But I like to stay home most of the time. I like to read a lot. Yeah, so and I like to watch TV shows, like interesting TV shows. And
any suggestions
of TV shows? Yes, Modern Family.
Yeah,
Modern Family is my all-time favorite, and it's my go-to TV show. Favorite character? Cam. I think you would say Sofia. You like Sofia Vergara, right?
No.
No?
Yeah, I would say they both are dramatic, right?
Yeah.
They both are.
Yeah. Cam is very dramatic. It feels like he's Lebanese somehow. So.
Are you saying Lebanese is?
Yeah, we're very passionate about we're very passionate.
Every time I have worked or have had Lebanese friends, they are all full of.
We're passionate about everything. about food, about really, if you sit with my family, they're the loudest people out there. Yeah, I come from a very big family, and yeah, they're part of us. Like, I feel that there's an identity that you take from the family. Like, if you're like the only child, you will not be like someone who lives with like 5 other siblings. So everything is part of how you're being shaped, in life. Yeah. And I also teach, because you said what I do in my free time. Like, on Saturdays, I teach children and kids in the church Bible.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So this acts of service, other than being the head of legal,
Yeah. I'm more than that. I think
You're
I'm.
more than- Your life is just not being a head.
No. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
If you weren't a lawyer, what other profession would you want to be?
If
you weren't a lawyer.
I have never thought about it. I don't think it was ever an option. And if I would say judge, because I think I would, but it's like the same feel. Like, okay, let me think. Okay, I think I would be, I would own a bookstore. Yeah, I would own a bookstore. And I will not hire anyone. I will work in it. Like, yes. Because I like books, I like the smell of books, and I like to be surrounded
What do you
with
like
books.
what kind of genres do you like to read?
Everything, but mainly history. Yeah, history. And if I couldn't own a bookstore, maybe I would have a flower shop. Yeah, sometimes when I want to disconnect, when I'm doing like, I don't know, a very complicated review or drafting something, sometimes I just close my eyes and I imagine I'm like, I don't know, surrounded by flowers. I like flowers. And
what's your favorite?
Tulips.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. That's interesting.
Yeah. Imagine someone working in a flower shop.
I've not thought about
Imagine
this.
the vibe, imagine the energy they're getting all day, creating beauty out of beauty.
Yes.
And it also reminds us how small things matters and makes a difference.
True.
Like, if you receive flowers, you will smile all day.
That is true.
And you will smell it.
Like, when some flowers, when I'm in like working office and flowers get delivered to somebody, the staff, and you can see their day suddenly just exponentially change.
And they look at it and then they smile and then they look at
pictures, they're seeing their friends, they're sharing this joy with other people.
Yes.
Should send flowers every day to people.
Yes, we would like also to
start a movement where you send flowers to everyone.
Yeah. Now for the new year, if someone would like to gift
Laura, please send flowers.
Yeah, the addresses.
Laura, I want to also understand. We did stress that you are one of the youngest head of legal, and obviously your career is moving at a certain pace. How do you deal with, say, when you're in a difficult situation, how do you deal with having the patience, temperament, from the mental side, emotional side? How do you?
Yes, it's a very important question, because when there's pressure the whole day, especially in Dubai, working in Dubai. So imagine working in a holding company. And by the way, Patrick, it doesn't only come from work, from the people, because people makes you angry, not the work, because work is work, right? And as lawyers, we're used to solving problems and facing problems. So it's about people, because there's many characters, personalities. People come with their traumas, with weaknesses, like everything happening in their home. So
this is where I feel like legal and HR department, they face
yes.
Like, the wrong end of these sticks.
You know, Patrick, I think that it's one of my strong points I have in my character. I'm very calm, and it's very hard to trigger me.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, you should be really, So I'm very calm, and I take everything at a time. Like, I don't overthink. I'm not an overthinker at all. Although I don't know why all the people in my life are overthinkers.
Maybe because you're not, they're coming to you.
You think so? Yeah. Maybe. Yes.
Opposite attracts.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't overthink. I always count to 10. My current boss taught me this. Always count to 10 before you say anything, and my father, yeah, by the way, my father also, he used to tell us that, me and my brother and my other brother, that it's all about what you say. Like, whatever happens to us, okay, but it's how you react towards it, what you say about it, how you communicate what happens to you. So he always used to tell us, be careful of what you say and taste your words before you spit them.
Oh, wow.
Yes, taste your. He always used to tell us this. No, he used to say it in French. Yes, but yeah, he used to, and it's very deep that really we don't know how a word can put you up and make you feel like you can have the world and you can conquer the world, and how one word can put you down. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah.
Lastly, before we wrap up, I wanted to ask, I mean, you're young, but there are younger professionals, there are graduates who are listening to this. What would be one piece of advice that you would want to share with from your experience up until now?
Advice: discipline, and love what you do. If you don't love it, leave and find something you love. Because Patrick, the career is not a year or two. It's something that you will grow with, right? And you have to love what you do. And not only when it comes to your field and your career, because you can always change careers, right? In everything. Let's say in your family, let's say with your partner. When you cook, if you like to cook, you have to love cooking. You have to love your partner to be able to compromise, to make the best out of the relationship. I believe that love is the strongest energy, and it can make miracles. Like, love what you do. If you don't love,
if you love
leave.
something that you do, you will not.
You will like to succeed in it. You will like to. I always tell my boss, I tell him, I never felt that, oh my God, I have work. I come to work half an hour before like everyone comes to. I love my career.
You enjoy what you're doing.
Yes, a lot. And I enjoy also the environment. It's very good for the mental health. It's everything inside will be reflected. So we have to take care of our mental health, of our emotional health. Also, if we're in, I know many people in my life that they stayed in toxic relationships, maybe relationships with their bosses, like they stayed because they were well paid, or they were with their partner, or like only, and it was toxic, and everything was being drained. Like, yes. So I always say, like, if it's toxic, leave. Protect your aura, your energy. And
these small things that we surround with, we don't realize, but those are the ones that gives us the energy to do better.
Yes.
Do good for the day.
Exactly.
Anyways, thank you, Laura, for coming.
Patrick, it was amazing. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed my time, and good luck in everything.
Good luck to you too.
Thank you.
Thank you.